Well, this is an old one. Pulling up a bunch of like body pump and body combat music. Nothing gets you more excited to get moving than Les Mills music. Hey everybody. Does that music make you want to like go work out or just start moving? I like turning on some fun music to get us all pumped up because it's getting a little later on the East Coast. I mean, when you get, to being my age, just kidding, 8:30 at night, it feels really late sometimes. Maybe it's because I'm almost 35 weeks pregnant. Yeah, exactly, Zena. That's why I'm having to modify a lot now. Hopefully we'll get a few more people logging on tonight. We are talking about a topic tonight that I feel really strongly about, keeping the funnel full, and that you're like probably wondering, well, what does that mean? I know the first time I heard that, I wasn't exactly sure what the heck that meant. So we're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about how we keep the funnel full and the importance of that. And just a few shout outs. First a shout out to our entire team this month, and many of these new coaches are even on right now. We have added as a team, Dream Big, 37 new coaches so far in July. I mean, the month's not even over yet. That is awesome, especially for our team. I mean, we have a pretty big team, but there's definitely some bigger teams out there. So 37 coaches for our size team this month is incredible. Think about like where our team's going to be in the next year if we keep doing that every single month. I really like the way Coaching at a Glance has been going. That's a great way to invite people to hear what the coaching opportunity is about without them feeling like that one-on-one pressure, and they can just get in there when they want. They can ask questions and really hear some other stories of coaches on our team that are just like, anybody else, so they can learn that anybody can do this. So right now, we just finished up Coaching at a Glance. I know many of us, I know I am, I have several phone calls this week with a lot of people that were in that group, and I'm going to be talking to them, so hopefully we'll be introducing some more coaches soon. And so if you had coaches in there, the next step is to send them a message and get them on the phone. Schedule a time to talk. Let them ask questions. But, concentrate on their goals and their vision for this. Don't do all the talking. Don't feel like you have to get on the phone and do all the explaining. That's not what it's for. I mean, they hopefully by then have listened to the webinar and they've been a part of Coaching at the Glance. So they have a good idea already of what to expect, so it takes a lot of the pressure off of you too. So really, when you get on the phone, my first question, first of all, I'm just going to talk to them because they might be nervous. So just have a conversation, build that relationship first, see what's going on in their life, and be a good listener. And then you talk about what did they like about what they've learned so far, and really expand on that. Don't just dive into, do you have any questions? Let them talk about the things that they really enjoyed about it. What stood out to them? Focus on the positive things. I mean, I feel like, everything about what we do is positive, but of course people are going to be skeptical of certain things, like we all have been before when we're learning something new. But just be genuine and answer their questions the best you can. If you are a brand new coach and you're like, I'm too nervous to do this by myself, If the person is open to it and you want your upline to get on, talk to your personally sponsored upline coach and see if they're willing to get on with you and help you lead that call. But just make sure the person that you're doing the call with is comfortable with that. You know, they may be nervous with two coaches talking to them, but you know, you can always let them know, you know, I'm brand new at this. I want to make sure I can answer your questions. Do you mind if I invite my coach to come on so that we can be sure to go over all the questions that you have? And I'm sure that most people would be fine with that. All right. Here is our Success Club Rockstars this month so far. And I know some of you are still working on pulling in some points. We have a lot of coaches who are sitting at 4 points. And I mean, we have a couple days left. Totally possible to pull in. I mean, Danielle, just last night, she was at 4. Guess what? She's at 6 today. You know, sometimes if you're sitting there right there on the edge of Success Club and you're like, okay, how do I get 1 more point so I can hit my goal this month? Maybe you've sent some invites and they just haven't gotten their order in yet. You're not sure what to do. Go ahead and, you know, sometimes I'll go on their wall and just comment or like something, and then that normally reminds people, oh, shoot, I need to get my order in. Or send them a friendly message, especially if they're ordering PIO and that, you know, is about to go off sale. Remind them that they only have a couple of days to take advantage of that. And lead with your fear. You know, hey, I really hope I'm not bugging you. We're getting our group set up for the end of this month, and I want to make sure you're still on board to go with the challenge. And as soon as we get your order in, I'll get you set up in the group, something like that. Just real lighthearted. And you can always say, you know, is this month a good month for you still, or would you rather me check back with you next month? Keep that conversation open-ended. I mean, look at Whitney, 20 points this month. Incredible. Jamie Nix at 16. Tara, 10 points. I mean, everybody, Nicole, 11. Blowing it out of the water, that's awesome. And I mean, again, these are not just about points. It is about the amount of lives changed. So even if you have 2 Success Club points, 3, 4, or 1, that is still somebody's life that you have impacted for the better this month. I thought I had a slide. I was having problems with my computer earlier. I had a slide with important dates for our team. So if you're listening, I'll just go over the dates, and you can take a note down. Coming up, we have on August 11th is when I will be running my 10-day, the second Monday of the month. That's standard for most of us. Second Monday of the month is our 10-day challenge. And then the 4th Monday of the month, which is August 25th, will be our 60-day. The reason we do this is, I mean, really it's great for the people that you're working with in the challenge groups because they can get their orders in early in the month and they get to start with the 10 days of cleaner eating first before they jump full force into a 60-day group where they're working on their nutrition and fitness at the same time, which for some people that can be overwhelming. Can they go ahead and dive into the workouts? Of course, but a lot of people really do like, you know, easing into it, starting with their nutrition first, then they add on more of the regular workout routine. And from a business perspective as a coach, if you are inviting and they're getting their orders in early in the month, that helps you knock out your Success Club points, or at least some of them, at the beginning of the month. And, you know, the rest of the month is focusing on building relationships with new contacts and helping your team. If you have a team underneath you, you need to be helping your coaches succeed as well. All right. Oh, there was 2 other dates, not just challenge dates. August 4th will also be our new coach training group. So if you're a new coach that isn't in the current Find That Fire, you'll be going into that new coach training group. Or if you are in the current Find That Fire group, if you have gotten behind or you just need a fresh start, you can go on into that one. We will also be starting on August 4th our Push to Emerald group. So if you have finished the current Find That Fire Coach Basics group, then you can move on into the next group. What will Push to Emerald be? What we are going to concentrate on is how to invite coaches to join your team. So it'll be 7 days of training. That's it. Just 7 intense days of training on different ways to invite and how to find coaches to add to your team. And then the remaining 2 weeks, it'll be a total of 21 days, is us just sharing like our example invites as leaders, and then you giving us your invites and letting us help you with the invites. Really hands-on, working together, because it is a learning process. And I mean, I'm still learning from my invites. But, you know, watching how other people are inviting and seeing that whole process, and sometimes just asking someone else's opinion when you're stuck can kind of help you get, oh, okay, that makes sense. You know, get your mind thinking. All right, so let's move on now to the training. We are talking about keeping the funnel full, okay? And what does that mean? It means that you are constantly adding new contacts. And we're going to talk about what exactly does that mean. When you keep the funnel full, every single day you should be adding new contacts to your list, but not just, you know, adding them to add them, but you really want to add valuable contacts that you're building a relationship with as well. Every single day you need to be building new relationships, and we're going to talk a little bit about what that means in a second. And then we're going to talk about how to find new contacts through social media as well as out in the real world, and why is this important. You always hear, you know, one of the vital behaviors is sharing and inviting, and you hear them say invite, invite, invite. Well, what does that mean exactly? We talk about inviting 2 new people a day. That's kind of like the standard Beachbody says is, you know, you need to invite 2 people a day. This means, and listen to this, this means talking to 2 brand new people a day, not the same people over and over again. You need to be reaching out to 2 new people every single day. Not the people that you've been talking to for months and months or the past year. Those are already seeds that are planted. Yes, you need to follow up with them. Like when I message somebody for the first time and I'm trying to build a relationship, I'm going to put a note on my calendar, you know, a few days out or the next week to follow up with them. I use iCalendar. So that when I sit down to work, I can pull up who the people are that I've been building a relationship with, so I don't forget to continue that conversation. But I'm also going to start at least 2 new conversations a day. So inviting, you know, and sharing doesn't always mean that you're inviting to the challenge. I mean, you need to be, if you're, you know, feeling like you aren't getting inviting out, we do have to take that step and invite. It doesn't always just fall into our lap. Most of the time it doesn't fall into your lap. You do have to actively invite. But when we're saying reaching out to 2 new people a day, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're just finding a new contact and inviting them to your challenge group. Because if you just send somebody a message and say, hey, haven't talked to you in 3 months, and I'm starting up a challenge group on August 25th, and I wanted to see if you wanted to come or join us. 19 out of 20 times they're going to say no, or they're going to ignore you because they haven't been talking to you. They think you're just trying to sell them something. And if you haven't built a relationship, then you probably are, because you have no clue what in the world this person needs in their life. So, the other important thing about adding 2 new contacts a day, brand new contacts, as a new coach, or even a seasoned coach, if you're not doing this consistently, you're going to hit Success Club most likely. The first few months as a coach, you might do great the first 2 or 3 months, and then all of a sudden you come to a standstill because you haven't been building relationships from the very beginning. So telling you right now, just kind of, we have some new coaches on, try to make that a goal right now for yourself to start finding new contacts so that in a few months down the road, kind of foresee that coming, you have some relationships built up so you don't run out of people that you can invite to your challenge. I heard this good analogy, thinking of a deck of cards. If you've got 52 cards in a deck and you're looking for 4 aces, okay? And you flip over a 6 and a 4, and they say no. Well, those are your 2 invites that day, okay? They say no, or they aren't ready right. right now. Then you put it on the side and you flip two more and you get a king and a six. And then you finally get an ace and a four. Okay, so we've invited several people and we finally got a yes. That's typically how it happens. So if you're inviting and you're hearing a lot of no's, that sometimes is the way it goes. Sometimes I have to send out 20 invites to get just a few yeses for my challenge groups. Don't think that I don't ever hear no, or Nicole, or April. We still hear no plenty. Even Tara Carr today on the National Coach Call. She is 32 lifetime diamonds under her, and she still hears no. It is part of the game, right? So you've gone through your 52 cards. You're only going to find 4 aces, right? There's only 4 aces in the deck. Those might be people who are ready to be a coach, people who are ready to join your challenge. And you get them in a challenge group, and then you just shuffle back through the same cards, and you go through them again. You're probably going to wear out your friends and annoy them because you've invited them so many times. That is not making 2 new invites or new shares a day. You've got to build and grab a new deck of cards and build new relationships, if you want to think of that analogy. So when you send a message, do not say, like I said, don't just jump into an invite. That's not what you're doing. You are first just building a conversation and relationship. So if I find a new contact on Facebook, or maybe I'm contacting someone I haven't talked to in a while, I'm going to look on their wall first and just see what's going on in their life, kind of find something to base my conversation off of. And maybe it's somebody I just saw had a baby. And I would be like, hey, a private message on how's life, how's the new baby? I saw that you just had a baby a couple of weeks ago. Are you getting any sleep? Just starting a conversation and reconnecting with that person. And as you're talking to them, what I'm doing is I'm also looking for needs that they have. You want to ask questions. Find out if they just had a baby, if they're working a lot of hours, what are they doing at their job? Are they busy with their kids? Do they feel tired a lot? Just through that conversation, you're listening for things like that, and then you're relating back to what you're hearing and asking more questions. And it's not like you're drilling them with questions. You're just having a conversation like you would with anybody that you meet. A friendly conversation and being very genuine. And then that is how I lead into those invites. I'm hearing, they just had a baby, and so it's been like, I've totally been there. I remember being completely exhausted when I had my second, and my toddler, I never got in a nap because, by the time I got the baby down, the toddler was waking up. So I felt so run down. It was so hard to have time for myself. And, I started getting going in a challenge group, and I'm starting up my own challenge this month, and I was thinking about you and wondering if it was something you'd ever consider doing with me. And that's it. You're just finding out first if they have an interest. Okay? And a lot of times when we're inviting, some of us will hear, well, no, I can't, I don't have time, or I just don't have the money right now. And then we just stop, and we're just saying, you know what, they said no, we take it personally, and we just stop there. But we have to try to kind of work through some of those objections you're getting by, relating to what they're saying. And if it's a conversation about, their objection is they just don't have money, well, that is a great time to plant the seed for coaching. Relate to what they're saying. Tell them how, that was the same way for me when I first started, where I was thinking about wanting to work on my health and my fitness journey. Money was an issue for me too. And, you could send them an invite to be a coach even, saying like, for me, something that really helped me was to start finding a few people to do the challenge with me so that I could be able to afford Shakeology and have it covered. And at the same time, I was getting to help some other people. And just sharing your story with them. And, many times they'll be like, well, what exactly, how does that work? If they start asking questions. And then you can start moving into the coach invite. I don't want to get too into how to invite a coach tonight. It's not like the main goal of tonight. conversation, but that's like another webinar. But just realizing that when they are not ready, they're not objecting you, okay? That they may be ready later, and that you really are planting those seeds. And oftentimes if they're concerned about the money too, if I'm not sending a coach invite right then, it may be, reminding them that, just helping them see the big picture of, well, when you break it down, I felt the same way, and I knew I wanted to work on my health, so I looked at our budget and saw that, we were spending money eating out at Chick-fil-A a lot, and stopping at Starbucks and Sonic, and even just some of the groceries we bought. I decided, I can cut these things out. They're not contributing to my health. And really, when you break it down, it's $4 a day, and really less than that if they're getting a challenge pack. Like PiYo, what was it, like $2 something a day right now if you're getting it with PiYo. And so I can't even make a lunch that cheap. So helping them see that, yeah, it might be $140 a month for PiYo challenge pack, but that's 30 meals in a workout program. So when you show them that, and tell them that they have 30 days, if in 30 days they don't see the value in it, they can get their money back. They really have nothing to lose. And a lot of times people, okay, well, that makes sense. If I can try it for 30 days and I don't like it, it makes me feel better. All right. So different ways to expand your market. This is just kind of, first step, not necessarily going out and looking. We're going to talk about that in a minute because you do have to do that too. But some initial ways is, of course, being regular about posting on Facebook, tagging people in your posts, and sharing your story. By doing those things, that's bringing people to your page. And also, you'll notice certain people who are liking things on your page. And maybe you're noticing this person has liked things on my page several times, and that's probably a good person to reach out to. Not saying to reach out and invite them right away unless they've commented that they were interested in a challenge group. But build that relationship first, and keep on talking to them. Put them on your list and build that relationship. And that might be somebody who is interested in a challenge. Maybe they've just been afraid to ask you first. So I'm going to share some examples tonight of just a few coaches on our team that I pulled some of their current posts up where they have shared their stories, because you don't want to get on Facebook all the time and constantly post a flyer about your upcoming challenge group. They need to hear your story, or they need to hear other coaches' stories on our team that or with Beachbody or other challenger stories. And as a coach, sharing your own story, your own personal one, is really going to help people relate to you as a person and make them want to come on board with you. It inspires them, and you never know who's watching. So this was Tara's story. She had a lot more written, but I just pulled a little bit of it to share with you guys. But this is just some of what she wrote. I mean, she just spilled her heart out on Facebook, and a lot of people just thanked her for sharing genuinely everything that she'd struggled with. Because right now they're seeing some awesome posts from her, working out and eating healthy, and so she was letting them know that, it wasn't always this way, it hasn't always been this way for me, and where she's been. So here's what she wrote. I started eating healthier and eliminated the junk. And this was after she had shared, what happened before this, okay? There were days I cried out and just asked God to please take me. Life was so painfully hard. I never missed a day of walking and getting out in nature. It was really my saving grace. I had to build my health back from the ground up. So fast forward to now, I got angry for the last time after seeing a photo of myself with my family, and I made the decision to let go of any fear of hurting myself and push past the limitations or excuses I was holding on to. I got so mad, she started T25 thanks to a great friend introducing me to Beachbody, and I started drinking Shakeology every day. My why is my family. They deserve all of me, not this person that was just showing up every day. but the passionate mom and wife that has the energy and confidence to be fully engaged. The fun mom. I know God has bigger plans for me, and I wake up every day excited about it. I feel like I was given another chance, and I made a promise to not take that for granted. This confidence will leak and benefit me in every area of my life. You want balance in your life? You make the decision to create it. This isn't about achieving a perfect body, because let's face it, a belly still lined with a beautiful memory that it once housed my sweet babies. This is about feeling better, getting strong, getting back the energy you had, or creating the energy you never had. It's possible, and I'm here to help you make that happen. Message me, call me, email me, and share my story so I can help your friends. I'm here. So, it wasn't a shout out to starting up a challenge group. She just genuinely shared her story and her heart. April Griffin posted this today, just what she's doing. Again, she's not, advertising, but she's just sharing what she's doing. She posted a picture of her, I think it was her lunch. Restarted the 21-day fixed nutrition plan yesterday, which is basically clean eating, with tons of yummy food, and my metabolism is on fire. So hungry, I'm eating my salad before dinner is even gone. Big win for me. I usually snack on less healthier options. I'm down 2 pounds just from yesterday. Feels good to be back on track. Just sharing, her own journey and her own struggles. This is from, who posted this? Is she on? Who did I pull this from today? I think it was Cherie. Some of you know I've been working on being healthier and getting into shape. With the help, that's who it was. With the help of Beachbody, P25, P90X3, and soon PiYo, I'm down over 25 pounds since February and counting. She actually shared her before and after with us in the Dream Big page the other day. So I've finally decided to become a Beachbody coach. This way I can help others do the same while I continue on my fitness journey. I'll be starting my next challenge soon with the all-new program PiYo, and I'm looking for 5 people to join me. Sharing her story, where she's been looking for some new people to join her. So these are just always through social media, on your Facebook page, posting consistently, planting that seed with people, and all of these posts had good responses. Now, if you post something and you don't get a lot of response back, don't think that nobody saw it, because a lot of times they do see it, they just didn't comment. Because I'll have people message me all the time thinking, I didn't think they were watching me at all. And all of a sudden, out of the blue, they're asking to join a challenge. So again, consistently showing up on Facebook every day, several times a day. Okay, so some other ways. You're running your current challenge groups, you're in there helping others while at the same time working towards your own financial goals. And in your challenge groups, you can really see some leaders in there, the ones who are in there every day and they're encouraging other people, posting consistently. Those are definitely some people that should, ding, 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 hello, that might be a potential coach, for our team, because they really have a great potential. If they're already motivating people in the challenge group, imagine what they can do outside of that challenge group. So be looking within your current challenge group for new people to join you. You're seeing results that you can share. Of course, always ask them before you do that. And I always ask tag or not tag. And some challengers, they like giving referrals. If they're getting a lot of referrals, I'm usually like, hello, do you want to, I start talking to them about coaching. But some people just, they're not ready for it for various reasons, but they are still sending you referrals. And again, on Facebook, I put advertising. I don't really like to call it that, but several times a day, you are putting out on Facebook what's going on. Challenger shout outs, a meal you ate that can help people with ideas on healthy eating, a coach shout out, just different things to show people what you are doing. If you never, ever post about what's going on, you don't want to vomit Beachbody, you want to show your life too. This is part of your life. And if you never share anything about this, then how are they going to know what you're doing? So they'll never know to ask. You do have to mix this in to your social media. Okay, so meeting out people, meeting new people, finding new contacts. How do we do this? First, out in the community, everyday life. This is, the most basic way, right? You're talking to people out in public. Um, like today, I have been talking to a girl the last couple of days at swim lessons. And so today I asked, hey, are you on Facebook? Found her. Bam, we're friends on Facebook now. And, that's what I do. If I'm talking to somebody and we're building a good relationship, whether it's at the park or wherever, I'm going to get them right then and there on Facebook or get their email. Don't just meet somebody and say, hey, can you find me on Facebook? It probably won't. I try to get them right then and there. Most people have their smartphones on them, and that is a way of adding new contacts. Does that mean that I go home and invite them? No. It just means it's a new person to build a relationship with and get to know better. A new friend. Being a walking billboard. Well, you can wear your wear and share. That's one way, and just being a product of the product. Like, for example, for some reason when I wear and share, it doesn't seem to do much. But Greg, like, he wore P90X shirts to a furniture store, and somebody started talking to him about P90X, and he helped me get a new Challenger. So, sometimes wearing that out and about, people see, that as a part of your life. Posting fit clubs. This is another way to meet people out in the community. I'm not doing one right now, but I did do one in Florida, and I know that Wendy is doing one, Wendy Graham. So what's good about fit clubs? It is a really cool thing when you're meeting people out and about to invite them to that's free. And it's, again, another great way to just build relationships and ask them to bring their friends to come to fit club. If you're not sure what a fit club is, or how to start one, you can start a thread and dream big and ask your upline, but there's also some information in the back office. If you go to the FAQs and type fit club, it will tell you everything you know about starting a fit club in your area. Expanding your network through social media. So these are just some of the ways you can do that. My main place is honestly Facebook. Some people are really good at Instagram and YouTube. For me, it's mostly through my profile page, some on my life page. But Facebook groups is one way. If you're not unsure how to do that, I want you to, as you get off this call tonight, think of like 5 interests that you have. Maybe you enjoy golf or, shopping, something like that. Or, something to do with your kids, something that interests you. And you can go on Facebook and type in the top, in that search bar, like you could type, toddler mom. And it'll drop down thing will say, all groups with the name toddler mom in it or something like that. And then you can request to join the group. Some are open groups already that you can just pop into. Some you have to request. And I have met so many people that way. I think Leanne's on. I met her, I think, the Pensacola group. So who else? Probably Heather, maybe. Did I meet you in a group? But several people I've met through Facebook groups, just building relationships there. I start a conversation first. I don't spend a whole lot of time in the group because, our time is very valuable, and when I sit down to work, I don't have a lot of time to go in there and read every post in the group and interact on everything, but I'll try to comment on something that stands out to me and private message somebody I see in the group. Maybe in their picture I can see that maybe have something in common, or maybe where they're from, or they have, several young kids, and start a conversation. I know sometimes some of you are like, I feel so weird, I feel awkward doing it, but I've met some amazing people that way. So don't feel weird about it. What are they going to do? They don't know you. They can ignore you, and oh well, right? But most people talk right back, and I just ask them a quick question like, hey, I saw you in so-and-so group, so they know where I'm finding them. I saw you had several, young kids. How old are they? Mine are 4 and 2. Letting them know, I have kids too. That's how we can kind of relate. And then after we start some conversation, that's when I friend them. I don't friend people right off from a group, because you got to be careful. Facebook can block you if you have too many unapproved from requests. So be careful about that. You want to start a conversation first so that they feel comfortable accepting a friend request. Instagram is another way to find new people. I'll be honest, I'm posting on Instagram, but I am not the expert yet on building relationships off of there. I will do some research and get back to you on that. But or like maybe we'll have Rebecca or somebody come on here and talk to us more about building relationships from Instagram. But some of you are really great with Instagram. So it's another place to just expand your network. YouTube. Some people make a lot of YouTube videos, just about various topics, and people start following them on YouTube and getting to know them there. A like page is another way. Like pages, do not rush into a like page if you're a brand new coach, unless you just have bukus of time. I really recommend starting, this is my opinion, and there's different opinions out there, but I recommend starting with your profile page. It took me a long time before I moved into a like page, and it's still growing. And I still sometimes think, it's just hard sometimes to get new contacts in there. I have to pay to boost my page sometimes, or boost a post. So it's money well spent, but I will say that, sometimes it's just not going to be seen by new people. This is the way Facebook is now, unless I'm paying. But, if you pay for it and you get 1 or 2 new contacts for your challenge group, that covers it. It's not expensive to advertise on Facebook. That's the nice thing. It is cheap. But, if you don't already do that, just expand your network through your profile page. Some coaches say, until you hit 5,000 people on your Facebook page, their opinion is you don't need to do a like page. There's both sides of that. I guess, the only other thing I can say about it is if you have a like page, do not neglect your profile page, because who's going to be on your like page in the beginning? It's going to be people that are already on your profile, right? So your friends, people you're already friends with. So you have to keep that in mind. And if you just neglect your profile and start putting everything on your like page, you're going to have, 20 people seeing your like page when you could have 500 or 800 on your profile seeing everything. So just keep in mind it's something slow to build over time. All right, so when you're building relationships, some of you have probably heard this. We talk about something called forming. Forming, it sounds very formal, but it's just kind of a guide to help you know how to flow your conversation. If you're not sure what to talk about, these are some key things to focus on as you're getting to know somebody. Remember, it says to control the conversation, but don't dominate it, meaning keeping it going. Don't just talk about you. You need to be interested, not interesting. You see what I'm saying? People want to know that you care about them. What is everybody's favorite topic? Themselves. So be willing to learn about the other person, not just talk about you. The explanation of form. Family. This is an easy one. When you're first meeting somebody through social media or out in town, what are the things you're going to talk about? You're going to talk about your family. Do they have kids? Where do they live? How long have they been married? Where did you meet? Things like that. And of course, it's not just drilling them with questions. You're relating to what they're saying, just having a conversation about your families. Occupation is another thing to learn about. Learning about what they do and do they like their current job? If not, how come they don't like their current job? Learning about what somebody is doing is, a good key indicator too. Like if somebody really hates their job and they're working a lot of hours, that might be somebody who could be a potential coach later on, that you can share your story with. And, I'm talking to somebody right now who she is a challenger, and she doesn't like her current job because she works a ton of hours. And she's very interested in coaching now, because she would love to be able to do something from home. That's just something I've been listening to from her, and so now I'm planting that seed of coaching. Recreation, talking about, just finding out what kind of things they do for fun. What are they doing on the weekends? Do they, are they enjoying any kind of sports? Are they working out? What are the things that they like to do? So after you've learned a lot about these things going on in their life, that's when you relay the message. Say you're out in town talking to somebody and you feel the conversation's kind of winding down, you're ready to deliver your message. That doesn't mean you're like, well, I'm starting up a challenge group. That's not what I mean. Eventually you're going to relay that invite message. If you're out in town, just ask them, or hey, are you on Facebook? I'd love to connect with you more. And most of the time people are, and we become friends, Facebook friends right then. And from there, continue to build a relationship. When you slow down to ask questions and find out more about the person, you'll find things out about people that you wouldn't have known otherwise. So just remembering to slow down. Yeah, see, Heather said we met in the Fit Mama group. So, if I had never reached out and talked to Heather, she wouldn't be here right now, most likely, or she could be signed up with another team. So by, me not being a chicken and just being brave enough to just talk to people, just getting out there, it's fun. Like, it doesn't have to be complicated or intimidating. Make it fun. It's fun to build relationships and get to know new people. Like I said, I've met some amazing people through this. Our team, is a reflection of that. Everybody on our team is very positive, and we have a great team environment, I feel, very supportive. And, a lot of that's just from networking through social media and just talking to people. Remembering, when you're out in town, get out there and smile. A smile can go a long ways. So many of us are just down into our phones. I can be guilty of that too. But when you go out, put it away and look up, look in people's eyes, and strike up conversations to people. Our call to action tonight. If you haven't shared with 2 new people today, new people, not old people on your list, if you haven't found 2 new people to share with today, meaning just starting a conversation, then when you get off this call, I want you to find 2 new people to reach out to, and then I'm going to start a comment thread on Facebook, on our Dream Big page, and I want you to tell us who you reached out to, and then I want you to tell us what you said to them, okay? Are there any questions about anything? Sorry, I went over. Never realized I could talk so much. 15 minutes over. Anybody? All right. Well, no questions. You all have a good night, and thank you very much for being on. Again, you have to get out there and invite. I wish it was as easy as people just coming, flowing into you every month to join all our challenges. That would be awesome. Yes, sometimes that happens, but we have to actively go out and find new people to work with, and don't be afraid to do that. When you are afraid and you choose not to talk to somebody or invite them, you're holding their future captive in their mouth. Can we still add people to the coach group for them just to listen? Yeah, you can. No problem. I'll leave it open for a little bit longer. And our next Coaching at a Glance group, it won't be till the 3rd week in August. So if you've got somebody right now that you're talking to, you don't want to have to wait 3 weeks, then go ahead and stick them in there. I'll leave it open probably a couple more weeks or so. All right? Okay, everybody. Anything else? All right. Well, I will talk to you all next week. Have a good night. Thank you for coming.